Well, welcome everybody. Welcome back to another video. Wanted to get on here. It's been a little while. Wanted to look at kind of if there's a chance that this crazy summer heat that we're having here across the southern US and certainly here in North Texas, if there's any chance that this might depart and bring us any relief with maybe some cooler temperatures or some rain. So did want to take a look at that. Certainly not a huge impact from storms here in the southern plains. Once we get into this time of year, kind of those dog days of summer, typically the severe weather and big storm chances tend to go away. It's not to say that we won't have maybe a couple severe weather possibilities over the next month or two, but certainly a lot of that activity moves to the kind of the Rocky Mountains or towards Colorado and up into the kind of north central and northern plains. So I think not a whole lot of severe storms across Texas and Oklahoma and here kind of across the central southern US, but certainly a really warm one. So do want to take a look at that and kind of look what the pattern here over the next couple of weeks has in store for us. So first thing I want to take a look at is kind of that upper level winds, that jet stream, and kind of give us an idea of what's causing the summer heat that we're seeing, which again, not necessarily that unnormal for Texas. We kind of sign up for that. But did want to talk about kind of why that is, and then drill down into the temperatures moving forward and any rain chances that we might have as well. So this is again our 500 millibar wind map. So this would be kind of the level of the jet stream. What we can see is that generally the jet stream is way up here, kind of across much of Canada and kind of the northern plains of the United States. And then we have kind of this center of high pressure here across kind of the southwest US, kind of Texas area here. And this is our dominant weather player. Now, I think we may have mentioned that on a video beforehand, is that high pressure here, high pressure creates sinking air. So it's kind of the opposite of low pressure that creates rising air. And so if you have a low pressure system, that typically provides lift. You can get more rainfall, you can get those thunderstorms to develop, and that typically is what you want to see for severe weather opportunities. Now, the opposite of that is high pressure, where you get just kind of this calm, sinking air. And so that keeps those really warm temperatures down near the surface. It doesn't promote cloudiness or storm chances. And that's really what we have here that's taking shape across kind of the southwest and southern US right now. And so as we move forward in time here, we can kind of see that this general high pressure system, kind of this big circle that we see on the screen here, it generally kind of stays in the same area here moving forward. Now, it does broaden out a little bit. This would be by about Tuesday evening, Wednesday morning of next week. It does broaden out a little bit, moves a little bit further east to encompass kind of Texas and Oklahoma as well. But again, still generally in the same area, and it's going to promote that sinking air. Now, again, we move forward in time, still there, still there. Once we get into about 10 days from now, we do see it move a little bit over the Four Corners region and a little bit further north as well. That may bring a little bit of relief here across the southern plains area. As we can see with the jet stream pattern, as the high pressure kind of moves over the, maybe Las Vegas to Four Corners area, we do get this kind of northwest flow here that starts to move further down, a couple pieces of energy here in the jet stream that move across the plains and all the way down into the southern plains as well. This could give us a couple opportunities for storms, but again, I don't think a major pattern shift or anything like that. And it kind of continues, moves forward, moves maybe even a little bit further north here, kind of across the Four Corners or Nevada area, which again will provide a little bit greater chances of some relief across the southern plains. So when we look at kind of what the temperatures are going to look like here moving forward, certainly, again, lots of these red and pink colors across, especially those late afternoon, early evening time periods. So again, this would be for basically this afternoon, showing mid 100-degree temperatures across North Texas and southern Oklahoma. That's certainly the case, what we're seeing here. And the other thing that we've been dealing with is a lot of humidity. So it makes those heat indexes feel even worse than just the air temperature. But again, certainly we're going to see this. And really, as we move forward, we can just kind of see that pulse cools off a little bit in the evening, heats up again each day. Now, what we do see is that as we move forward in time, as we looked with that high pressure system, we do see the temperatures start to migrate a little bit further west. Not to say that Texas and the southern plains won't be warm, but maybe a little bit less of those triple digits. And that starts to migrate a little bit further over to the Four Corners, Nevada, California, Arizona area. And then as we move forward in time further out to about 2 weeks from now, we actually see that the northern plains and even southern Canada start to get into more of those warmer temperatures, triple digits. Certainly still some of that across the southern plains, but a little bit of a break, possibly with some more storminess to come. This is something that we can look at that looks at the anomalies for the temperature. Basically, are we warmer than average, colder than average? What does that look like? And so we've got the southern plains in Texas here. For these next 10 days, we can see there's a lot of kind of this reddish color. So that means that this area here is warmer than average by maybe 5 to 10 degrees. And so we're going to see that pretty consistent here for these next probably 10 days or so. But once we move forward in time and we get into that kind of 10 to 14-day pattern, as the high pressure system moves further over the Four Corners in the Nevada area and a little bit further north, we can actually see some of these blue temperature anomalies showing up. So again, this would be anywhere from maybe 5 to 10 degrees below average that we might be seeing across Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, maybe North Texas as well. And as we move forward in time and we get even further, if let's say we get to, maybe around here, so this would be Monday, July 24th, we're looking at pockets of Oklahoma and Kansas that might be almost 15 degrees cooler than average, maybe temperatures in the upper 70s, mid 80s. Again, certainly still warm across the southern plains, but not that baking heat that we're under right now. So I think there is a little bit of hope that we could see a reprieve maybe in that 10 to 14 days from now, maybe that final week of July. So there is a little bit of hope on the horizon, but if you're looking for 60-degree weather, you're probably going to be out of luck here across the southern plains. So other thing that I did want to look at here is the possibility of precipitation. When we look at our rain chances, this will show anytime that we see those green and yellow kind of reddish colors, that's going to be more rain. And so here over this weekend, we are going to have some chances. There is a front that's going to be coming through Oklahoma, the panhandles, kind of up in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas. Maybe some beneficial rainfall here for some folks. Now, again, North Texas and much of Texas, probably going to miss out on any type of a big soaking event. Maybe we get a little bit towards the end of the weekend into Monday, possibly here across North Texas. But again, certainly the eastern U.S. and kind of the south central plains, not being Texas, those do look like to be the areas that could get some beneficial rain here moving forward. But what I think is worth noting is that as we move forward in time and we get into that final week of July where we saw those cooler temperatures being modeled, watch what happens here across the southern plains with our possible precipitation. We start to see those values here. You see those reds, pinks, purples kind of start to accumulate. That's because there's actually a chance that we're going to get some storms. We'll have those cooler temperatures. We'll have some more cloud cover and rainfall. And so there certainly is hope that maybe towards that last week of July, there might be a little bit of a pattern change and we might get some rain here across North Texas and kind of the southern plains, which I think at this point, no one would be super complaining about. So last little thing I want to touch on, this is from National Weather Service. This looks like the next 6 to 10 days in their forecast for temperatures. And again, we can see across the southern U.S., all the way into the southwestern U.S., certainly above average temperatures over the next 6 to 10 days. Now, when we look out a little bit further, that 8 to 14 days, again, we can see the southern U.S., south central U.S., little bit less of those above average temperatures. Again, still going to be hot in Texas, but certainly might be closer to average or even possibly a little bit below average across some of the southern plains. When we look at the precipitation, again, in the next week, certainly Texas below average when it comes to precipitation, but going into the 8 to 14 days, again, Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, Texas, we do have the possibility of some above average precipitation, which again, would kind of go in line with the models that we just looked at. So again, overall, certainly going to be warm, not much relief in sight, possibly some rainfall and some cooler temperatures once we get further into July, maybe that final week of July. But otherwise, everyone, we're just going to have to fight through it and stay cool. Hopefully, ERCOT can keep the power on here across Texas, and definitely the AC units are going to be working overtime. But everyone, if you're going to be outside for extended periods of time, stay hydrated, be careful. This heat is certainly dangerous and is a leading cause of death in the summer. So certainly take it seriously and be careful out there. And I'll see you back for the next video.